Here we go. Hello, BookTube. It's Louise, the big haired bookworm. Lovely to see you. Hope you're well. Hope you're having a good day, wherever it is you are and whatever it is you are doing. I hope you're doing it with panache. I like that word today, panache. The lighting is rubbish. There seems to be a bit of a theme. I sit down, I say hello, and then I tell you that the lighting's rubbish. We're having one of those days. It was quite bright earlier, not so bright now. We have weather report quickly is that we've got a bit of a cold breeze coming from the east. And as we are in the east, it's quite chilly, I have to say, but in a good way, in a good kind of winter way. You kind of want winter to be a bit cold. Well, you got your wish today. It's great. Got my tea in my mug. It is Friday the 14th of December. So you have had 14 days of book advent, should you wish to enjoy them. So they're about, my book advent is going up every morning. Well, it's scheduled to go up every morning, and it's about 1, 2, 3 minutes long, and where I show you a book. Some of them are new, some of them are old, all different types of books that you might like for yourself, or you might like to give to somebody else. It's that kind of idea. Or just kind of tell you the books that are out there. So I hope you're enjoying it. I did have a bit of a thing where it wasn't telling me that people were watching and commenting, and I was like, I'm not sure they've actually gone live. And then I went back in and checked, and there were all these comments there that I hadn't seen because YouTube were going, I'm not going to tell you, which is a bit cheeky, but it's all sorted now, so thumbs up for that. Excuse me while I just finish my tea, because it's that kind of day. So what have you been up to? Have you had a good week? I've had a very good week, actually, as far as I can think. Yes, I have. I went to, my big news of the week, basically, and all that I have been talking about, is that I went to see Brenda, the physiotherapist. Brenda, that's all I've been talking about. Brenda. I went to see the doctors this morning, and he said, how are you? And I said, I went to see Brenda on Tuesday, and he's like, excellent. And who is Brenda? No, she's my physiotherapist that you sent me to see. Brenda, the physiotherapist. And he's like, oh, okay. And he said, you're on first name terms. And I was like, well, yes, when you've been in the positions that I've been with Brenda, it is first name terms only. Yes. So I went to see her on Tuesday, and she had a good look at me. She worked me, but in a good way. Brenda can only do it with love and kindness. That's the best thing about her. I hadn't been in there 5 minutes, and she was like, right, you're going to have to take off your leggings and lift your dress up, and I'm going to have a good look. And I was like, Brenda, my word, there's no kind of, general chit-chat, getting to know you. Nope, straight in there she was, and you would have had the same thought as I have, don't deny it. Yes, as I was taking my leggings off, I thought, oh my God, what knickers have I got on? Oh yes. You too would have been having that thought, because I didn't know that I was going to be disrobing for Brenda, so I may have chosen a different knicker, but I couldn't remember what knicker I'd put on, so I stood there the whole time going, do I look down and check? Do I I know they're clean, they're fresh on this morning, but do I have a quick look to see what's there? Is there any way I can do that? Or do I just trust that Brenda has seen it all before? And I do believe she has. Lovely lady. Yes, and so she diagnosed that there's something to do with my pelvis is kind of twisted, and so I was in some very odd positions by the end. Me and Brenda, we were close. And I did say to her, I wasn't expecting to have my foot quite so close to your ear, Brenda, on our first time together, but I trust you. I felt I was in the arms of an experienced woman. And it was a glorious thing. So I love Brenda. Brenda is my new love. I'm seeing her next year. I was like, oh, next year? I was hoping for next week, but no. Brenda was firm, but kind. And I'm seeing her next year, but I can definitely feel some difference. She's given me some exercises, and she's done some manipulation. I don't know why I winked at that. There was nothing saucy about it. But, Brenda, experienced woman. She was great, Brenda. I've just said Brenda an awful lot this week. How are you, Brenda? That's what I've been kind of saying. But it has made a difference, and I'm walking better, and I can feel a difference, and I kind of know I know where I'm going to a future with Brenda. Yes, so that's been my week. So it's been happy days for that. And I've been making Christmas presents, yes, because not only do I, buy, but I also try and make as well. So would you like to see the Christmas presents that I've been focusing on this week? Yes, crocheted Christmas puddings. It's a chocolate orange! Look! Chocolate orange! No, it's Christmas cake. So so these are teacher presents. I don't know, because we're at a new school, I don't know whether it's, they lavish the teacher with wines and gifts, and I don't know. So I just thought, well, he's been there a term. Let's not go overboard, and let's just give a nice little... Is it a Christmas pudding? No, it's clever. So I've been making a lot of these. They're very cute though. They're very cute. I'm so pleased with myself. They actually look much better than I thought they would. So yes, I basically want to do the whole of it like this because I'm so pleased with myself. So they're dotted around the house, ready to be given next week when he breaks up. Because we are mid-December, and today, I've just been talking far too long already, so what we really need to do, is start Friday Reads. It's Friday Reads, it's Friday Reads. I've been talking far too long already. It's Friday Reads. Yay! It's Friday Reads. This is the video where I tell you what I've been reading and listening to this week, and what I've got planned to focus on for the next week or so. So what have I been listening to and what have I been reading? So I finished a book. Yes. I finished A Strange Hymn by Laura Thalassa, Thalassa is spelt Thalassa. If in doubt, put an A next to it. This is the second in the Wagner series, so this is a paranormal romance. And not as good as the first one. The first one had the element of surprise, firstly, and also it had a lot more tension. So she kind of did, because it's the same couple. There was a bit of artificial tension. I didn't see the progression, to be honest. I don't know why there was that kind of. She obviously wanted to get the tension up again. So manipulated the story in a bit of an odd way, and I didn't think it was as good, but I do like the characters, and I may well carry on with the series because I know there are at least 2 more. So it's paranormal romance featuring she's a siren and he's a fae kind of chap, and it's Hades and Persephone retelling. The first one was, the second one isn't. It's not really anymore, but it was enjoyable, and I read it on my Kindle, and that was a nice quick read. I haven't read anything else. I'm still listening to The Brutal Telling by Louise Penny, and I'm only about 30% through, and this isn't anything to do with the book. I just haven't been listening to audiobooks. I've been listening to a lot of podcasts rather than focusing on my audiobook. The problem with the Louise Pennies, the only problem that I have with Louise Pennies is that the language can be a bit fruity, which means that I have to be careful that Benedict isn't around. Benedict's my 10-year-old son, so I don't want, it's not suitable language for him, and it's not as though I can foretell it. Just sometimes you just go, whoa, that's quite rude, and so I have to be. So I don't tend to listen to it at all when he's about. So it's only if I'm listening to my audiobook when he's at school that I would listen to that. Yeah, are you with me? I fancied a kind of different paced book, so I picked up this, which is Jacqueline Winspear, The Mapping of Love and Death. So this is I want to say 5th in the Maisie Dobbs series, and this has to be one of my favourite covers, and I don't know why. It is that kind of 1930s style, but it must be something to do with how the colours combine and her looking off over the countryside. But I really love this cover. Something about it just really gets me. So this is a cosy crime set in 1931, London 1931, although she travels about the whole of southeast England. Maisie Dobbs is a private investigator, This is a really good one. It quite often harks back to the First World War. There'll be things that happened in the First World War that she's investigated. She was a nurse in the First World War, so she quite often it's to do with not nurses and doctors. Um, I started with about the 8th or 9th book and didn't really enjoy it. And then quite a few people said, no, start at the beginning, which is the first book. It's called Maisie Dobbs, and read it sequentially. And I completely agree with that. So if you are going to read a Jacqueline Winspear, please start at the beginning of the series, which is called Maisie Dobbs. If you like that kind of cosy crime set in the early 1920s, 1930s, she's quite a cool character, but cool as in kind of emotionally cool. There's a sense in this book that she's kind of recognising her own coolness and her kind of isolation and is looking to change it. And so I'm enjoying that. I'm seeing the character develop, but the style itself is quite cool. It's very detail driven, which I love. I love period crime books where they really go into the detail of the period to give us the flavour. And it does it without feeling like you're being taught. There is every so often a character explains something to you and you're like, but I think that's in the nature of kind of the detail that she does. But the rest, I really enjoy them. I find them completely comfort reads. I am about that. I've got that left. So we are, and they're good mysteries as well. So yeah. Now there's not a lot of gore, and it's pretty clean if you like that kind of thing. So yeah, so that's The Mapping of Love and Death. I'm really enjoying that. I'll probably try and finish that today. I went to the library yesterday and I picked up these 2 books. They said they're kind of new in, but I think they're new into the library rather than they're new. So this is The Bedlam Stacks by Natasha Pulley. She's the author, of The Watchmaker of Filigree Street. That was her first book. This is her second book. So it came out in hardback 2017, so it's probably new in paperback this year. I don't know. So it's kind of steampunky, a bit of kind of unusualness. I enjoyed The Watchmaker of Filigree Street, but I did have some reservations. For the life of me, I can't remember what they were. I was sat there thinking, for such an unusual book, because it was an unusual book and it had a kind of touch of magical realism to it, why can't I remember what I felt about it? I must have been reading it at a time where I wasn't paying much attention, because I really can't remember. I can't remember loving it, but I remember reading it quite happily. So either there was something to do with the plot or it was her writing. Anyway, one way or the other, I'm going to give it a go. So I'm definitely going to give this a go. Look at that lovely cover as well. Monkeys. I think it's got something to do with India, hasn't it? Oh no, Peru. Ooh. Anyway, I should give that a go. And then I picked up this romance. It's a Regency romance, A Rogue of Her Own by Grace Burrows. I've not read any Grace Burrows. I was looking at her titles and I do wonder whether I have, but a lot of the titles are similar for Regency romances, especially because they're modern day writers, but the romance is set in the Regency period in London, so I normally enjoy them. They're very much kind of candy floss reading, so you can just quickly whiz through it. It's quite a decent size, but it should be a quick read once I get going. So those are my next 2 books. I really fancied them when I saw them. I just thought I fancy those, so I'm going to give those a go. Yes, and that's it. That's all my reading plans for this week. I don't know how much reading I'm going to get done over the next week or so. Hopefully loads. So next week, gosh, 21st. Solstice Day. Ooh, that'll be fun. So yeah, there we go. So I hope this has been okay. How long? Not too bad. Kind of average length for me. I think I was going on about Brenda too much, but then that has been my week, quite honestly. And yes. This has been lovely, BookTube, and I look forward to speaking to you again.